Hello and welcome back to my FPL channel. I'm a FPL D unit and today you are here for Game Week 23 transfer tips, and there's been some interesting moves being made in the transfer market in terms of the people that are moving certain players into their teams and certain players out of their teams. And I'm here today to break it down and tell you what are good moves and what are bad. So without any more further ado, make sure you please smash a like on the video. Smash a subscribe if you're new as well. Look, the aim is to get to 500 as soon as possible, and we're up to 451. So thank you to everyone who has subscribed. And if you haven't already, please think about doing it. And without further ado, let's get into transfer tips for Game Week 23. So this week is the week to get in your third Liverpool player. You know you should not be playing your assistant manager chip in Game Week 24. There is no way that there is any upside to using that chip unless you're going to play it on David Moyes. And trust me, I have not seen enough in the Everton team to make me think it is worth taking a punt on that. Like, I don't even know if they'll beat Leicester at home, let alone getting any points off Liverpool. So for me, it's a definite avoid using that chip. That makes no sense. So in that case, you should have at least 2 Liverpool players hopefully already in your teams, and you should be bringing your third one this week for the Ipswich at home fixture. It is a beautiful fixture. It doesn't matter if you bring in an attacker or a defender. You would think that it's going to highly likely be a clean sheet, and you would expect there to be attacking returns as well. And I can tell you that I have bought in my third Liverpool player, and it was Trent Alexander-Arnold. I just can't afford to take that on, considering that they've got Ipswich at home and he's been rested in the Champions League, and then he's got the double, and then he's got Wolves at home. I mean, it's a 3-week play for me. I don't really rate the player at all, and I don't really rate spending 7.2 million of my squad on a defender. But the next 3 weeks, I can't argue that it's a really good time to have him. So for me, on that note, I think he should be one of your 3. Let's just put it that way. And then it's up to whether you want an extra defender. So in my case, I've got Alisson. In other people's case, you might be buying Canade, depending on your goalkeeper, or you might be looking at a third attacker. And if you are looking for a third attacker, your third player as an attacker, it should be Cody Gakpo. I mean, he got rested in midweek, so that means he should be starting against Ipswich at home. I think he's probably the most reliable one, particularly in terms of starts in the league as well. But again, I don't know if I'd really rate getting a third attacker. For me, it just made more sense getting a defender, and we'll have a look at my team a little bit later on. It is time to target the Palace players. I don't have any in my team, and the more weeks go past, the more I'm taking them on. I mean, like, they've kept 2 clean sheets the last 2 weeks, and Mateta's scoring goals, Eze's getting assists, even Sarr got 1 assist, I think, the other week. So, look, all their assets look really good, and they are in a nice little run of fixtures, and they've got pretty good fixtures to come as well. I mean, Brentford at home is not going to be easy. I do expect Brentford to score, so maybe the defenders aren't as good this week, but I also expect Palace to score against Brentford. And then they've got Man United, and who knows what Man United will even show up. It's at home, so Man United have been losing games for fun at home. So Palace just look really good moving forward. I actually personally think I'm not going to go anywhere near an Everton player. I know they've got the double in 24 with Liverpool, and they do have the Leicester at home fixture, and Liverpool are at home at Goodison Park for the final time in the Merseyside derby. I just don't think that it's a place I really want to be going. So for me, it's a no on Everton players. I just can't see the upside in them. Like, I can't see them keeping clean sheets, and their forward players just can't be trusted. All you have to look at is how many goals they've scored this season. They can't be trusted. Cole Palmer, most sold midfielder this week. If anyone has Cole Palmer and you're selling him, please get involved in the comments and let me know why you're selling him. It makes 0 sense to me. Man City have just lost 4-2 in the Champions League overnight to PSG. Cole Palmer is going to get a return against Man City, 100%. They're not keeping a clean sheet. And Chelsea aren't keeping a clean sheet either. That's going to be an absolute cracker on the weekend. I don't know why people are selling him. It makes 0 sense. And we'll look at the fixtures a little bit later on in regards to that. Crystal Palace, good fixtures and informed. New manager bounces, though. As I said, I haven't seen enough from David Moyes to make me think Everton are a worthy shout. And ditto, Graham Potter hasn't waved his magic wand like Harry Potter has yet. And, yeah, I'm not sure. West Ham don't have very good fixtures either the next couple of weeks either. Expended defenders outside of Trent aren't worth the asking price as far as I'm concerned. They're not getting it done, especially the Arsenal defenders. I've actually swapped out Timber for Trent Alexander-Arnold only because of the fact that I do want to cover that over the next 3 weeks. But the Arsenal fixtures do improve. The only problem is they've just been conceding the odd goal. I mean, I don't think I'd be wanting to rock 2 Arsenal defenders at the moment. One, yes, maybe potentially. Maybe Gabriel's still a good shout because of his attacking prowess, but I just don't think he's worth 6.4. I mean, Milinkovic is 4.8, does exactly the same sort of attacking data. I just think he's a better option. Save you a lot of money as well. Tottenham assets, are they worth the risk as are the Manchester clubs? I'm not sure, is the honest answer. I can't give you a yes or a no. Tottenham have a lot of games coming up and they've got a lot of injuries, but it does mean some of their assets are going to be more nailed. With Solanke out, you would think that Son's going to probably return to the starting attacking position. Other than that, otherwise Richardson's going to get in there. Maybe he becomes an option. It's just so hard. Tottenham aren't in a very good run of form, but their fixtures look good. In terms of Man United, I mean, the fixtures on paper look easier, but they're just playing so poorly. Outside of Ahmad and Bruno, the team is crap. Like, the team is absolutely rubbish. And I'm a supporter. And I'm telling you, they're pretty damn bad to watch. Man City are scoring goals. They're still no good defensively, as we just saw against a good team in the Champions League away from home, 4-2. But 3 of their next 4 fixtures, which are the difficult ones, are at home. The only away one is at Arsenal, but Liverpool, Chelsea and Newcastle all go to the Etihad Stadium to play them. So I'm not as concerned, and I obviously am a Phil Foden owner. So for me, that's a problem, which I am looking into. Which players need moving rotation risk? Do we have to be concerned with Chelsea's form and mounting injuries? I think Chelsea are a weird club, and we'll go look at them a little bit closer. I actually think there's a couple of good buys in Chelsea's team, like Saliba. I really rate him, 4.4 million, great defender. However, I've sold Nicholas Jackson. I've run out of patience with that man. There's only so much he can handle. And I've sit there and I've been moving on players super quick this season that just haven't been performing and dropping in price. I should have moved Jackson on. I just looked at the fixtures and thought he's definitely going to return. He's got easy games here. He should be returning. He just hasn't returned. So in that case, he'll probably return this week against City and I'll be like, yeah, that's why I wanted to hold him. But realistically, just can't do it anymore. And lastly, you need to be aware of suspensions, injuries and fixtures and all this and that. But do you really need Anthony Gordon for Southampton? Because the fixtures after this week are no good. And do you need to sell Phil Foden? Now, these are all the real big questions. So let's have a look at what's happening in the transfer market in terms of this week. So we'll go to the status page. Obviously, the team of the week there, Alisson Becker, Alexander-Arnold are both now in my team. Kluivert is a popular transfer. He's actually the most transferred in player this week. I don't think it's the week to bring him in, though. I'm not sure why people are jumping this week. Bournemouth aren't in that good a run of form, I don't think. Foden obviously popped off again, 19 points. That man, the more I think about it, the more I just want to keep him. But he didn't do anything in the Champions League overnight, and he did play 90 minutes, and that was disappointing. Mateta obviously has been popping off along with Mr. Chris the Woody Woodpecker. So let's start this week with the most popular transfers in. Now, I always call him Patrick because of his dad, but Justin Kluivert, he's had 2 massive scores this season and 1 other score over 10. So that's 3 games out of 22. This is definitely a case of points chasing that is going on right here. Like if you have a look at his since that 20-point score in game week 13, 3, 2, 3, he got 8 there, 2, 0, didn't even play in that Fulham game, 3, 8, 22. Last 2 weeks, brilliant, 30 points in the last 2 weeks. He's not going to be scoring hat-tricks every week. And if you have a look at the fixtures, the game week to actually bring him in is actually game week 25. Like Southampton away, Wolves at home, Brighton away, Spurs away, Brentford at home, Ipswich at home, West Ham away, Fulham at home, Palace away, Man United at home. You could literally keep him up until the end of game week 34. Like 100%. But I wouldn't be buying him this week. Nottingham Forest at home, probably close to the best defence in the league, followed by Liverpool at home. Yes, they're home fixtures. I don't think he's going to be getting massive returns. I wouldn't even be surprised if he blanked the next 2 weeks. If you're selling him like an Ahmad to a Kluivert or something like that, which is potentially what I might do in game week 25, it doesn't make any sense the next 2 weeks at all. Trent Alexander-Arnold, I bought him in. He's almost up to 30% ownership now. He probably will hit 30% by the end of before the deadline. Look, he's a frustrating figure, but look, the stats don't lie. 1 goal now, 5 assists for the season. That's 6 attacking returns. He's had 8 clean sheets. That's 14 returns in total out of 22 weeks, and that's with 2 injury interrupted games, like when he came back from injury, when he got injured, and the game he missed. So take that out. That's 14 returns in 19 games. Like, it's stupidly good. 0.33 assists per 90 as well. Expected assists per 90, 0.05 expected goals. Look, the next 3 runs, you can't take this man on the next 3 weeks. Ipswich at home, Bournemouth away, Everton away, Wolves at home. That's why Trent Alexander-Arnold is so damn popular at the moment, and that's why he's in my team. It's not for any other reason. He's strongly likely to leave in game week 26, 27. I'm not too worried about the Southampton at home fixture. I feel like teams are just going to start resting players against Southampton. Like, they're just so bad. Except Man United, who obviously struggled against them, but most other teams just poleaxe them. So, yeah. But like Trent, brilliant. Great option this week. 100% buy. Now, Chris Wood, another 234 transfers in, 42.9% ownership. I think this is a player you can take on now. Yes, the last 4 weeks, this man has made 29, 39, 41 points in the last 4 weeks. He's averaging 11 points over the last 4 weeks. But he's played Southampton, Liverpool, Wolves and Everton. 3 damn easy teams. The Liverpool game, obviously beautiful. He's obviously scoring ridiculous goals from like low XG. He's continuing to overperform. He's now got 14 goals and 2 assists for the season. The next 3 weeks, you probably play him, but then it gets a lot harder. Like Newcastle away, Arsenal at home, Man City at home. Not great fixtures. If you're holding through to the end of game week 29, if you're wildcarding in 30, it makes a lot of sense. Like Ipswich away in 29 is a really good fixture for Chris Wood, and I think we probably all want him for that particular fixture. I mean, for a score, Chris Wood's generally speaking involved in some way, shape or form. So I don't mind it, but I just don't think that I'd be going there. I think there's better options. Now, Cody Gakpo is definitely the 3rd Liverpool player you want if you want the second attacker. He's definitely the pick. He's better than Diaz. Jota's obviously injured, not going to be involved. He's better than Darwin Núñez. He's probably going to start all 4 games, and his numbers have been pretty good. He has blanked the last 2 weeks, and the 2 weeks before that, he obviously scored, but then got no bonus points at all. So it's only really that Leicester game that's the big one there, and then the Fulham game back in game week 16. I just, for my team, it makes more sense to get the second Liverpool defender in. So I obviously have Alisson and Trent Alexander-Arnold. I've got 3 great forwards that I don't really think are worse than Gakpo, even with the double. So that's just my personal opinion on that. That's why I'm not moving for Cody Gakpo. But if you want to take a risk, take a punt, he's a great option. I really like it. Now, Phil Foden, my boy, 59 points in the last 6 weeks. He's been phenomenal. But I think this is a classic case, hate to say it, of points chasing. Like, he scored 34 points in the last 2 weeks. He's not going to be playing Ipswich and Brentford the next 2 weeks. If we have a look, however, he's one of those ones, he's in my team. I'm holding him for the Chelsea game. 100% I'm holding him for the Chelsea game. I want to see how City play against Chelsea at home with the injuries that Chelsea have got. I still expect Phil Foden to do really well here. The Arsenal away game, I might just bench him. Like, I don't know how well City are going to go away at Arsenal. But then the next 2 games, like Newcastle at home, Newcastle shown against Bournemouth that a good attacking team can score goals past them. And Liverpool have shown a tendency to concede goals as well. So the fixtures are bad, but 3 of the next 4 are actually all at home. And with the home fixtures, I just think that Phil Foden's still a relative hold. If he can get through to 27, like Spurs away, Nottingham Forest away, Spurs away I don't think is going to be that difficult, to be fair. They're going to be absolutely... The injuries they've got at the moment are only going to get worse because they're going to have to keep playing the same players, and they've got so many games over the next month. It's ridiculous. They might even roll up at that ground and just barely have a team. Who knows? And then Forest away is obviously a difficult one, 28. But then it's just beautiful. Like, beautiful run to the end of the season. Like, he's definitely someone I'm considering keeping for the end of the season now. It's just a matter of like how he goes. This Chelsea game is make or break for him in my team. I will move him on. I've held Jackson for way too long in my team, and I just think that that's potentially something I could make the mistake with Phil Foden because of the fact he has been so good for me. But it is just about moving him on. Now, Hull makes a lot of sense this week because they've got Southampton at home, but then the fixtures after that aren't the best. They've got Fulham, City, Forest, Liverpool in the next 4 games after that. Not a great run of fixtures. Nottingham Forest and Fulham at home potentially are okay. City away, Liverpool away, not good for Hull. He'll be definitely 100% getting benched in those 2 weeks. So, But then after that, it opens up again for Newcastle. So, like, he does have a tricky run of fixtures. The Southampton away game looks amazing. I'm just concerned that the fixtures after this week are not the best for Hall. But he's a good buy for this week. Mateta, he's in a great run of form. 29 points in his last 3 weeks. Looks amazing. Has been much more involved in terms of expected goal involvement in the last 3 weeks as well. Brentford at home, nice fixture. Man United away, nice fixture. Everton at home, nice fixture. Fulham away, bit more difficult. Aston Villa, a bit more difficult. And then Ipswich in 28. Look, it's a nice run of 6 weeks. There's nothing more to say there. If you're selling Nicholas Jackson and you're not buying Cody Gakpo for the double, Mateta's a really good option. Or if you don't want to go to Wissa and save some money to upgrade elsewhere, I obviously went to Wissa. I still think Wissa is still a better option than Mateta moving forward. Even though the Mateta is probably on penalties, Wissa's expected goal involvement per 90 is just better than Mateta's. So Mateta's 0.43, 0.07, a combined 0.5 per 90 minutes expected goal involvement. Aina, I wouldn't be going there. I'm just not even going to pull his stats up. Like, Forest defence is really good, but I just can't see that continuing, and there's no way I'm paying 5.4 million for Aina. Lots of people still bringing in Ahmad. It kind of makes sense. I mean, if Man United score, Ahmad's involved. Like, he's their most likely attacking option outside of Bruno Fernandes in that team. And the run of fixtures through to the game week 29 and wildcarding in 30 looks really good. Leicester away in 29 is brilliant. Ipswich at home in 27 is brilliant. Everton away is all right. And then even Fulham, Palace and Spurs are not too bad. It's really that Arsenal game in 28 that isn't very good. So I don't mind the Man United assets up until then. After that, though, I just don't think they're worth a hold. From 30 onwards, I just think no good. No good. Isak, yeah, still a good buy for the Southampton fixture. I mean, he's up to almost 60% ownership now. It's amazing. Lots of people still don't have him. Watkins, I understand the 3-week punt here, and he has scored in 3 of the last 4 weeks. But they lost in the Champions League to Monaco, and every time they play in the Champions League, I always think they're a bit flat. So I wouldn't be surprised if West Ham give them a real good game. But West Ham, Wolves, Ipswich, the next 3 weeks are really good. For a short-term punt, it's a great sort of play. So I don't mind it. But he does cost a lot of money, and he's a bit like the Jackson. If he's not performing and getting those big returns, he's not worth the money. And Mbuemo, obviously the run opens up now. Palace away, Spurs at home, West Ham away, Leicester away, Everton at home, Aston Villa at home, Bournemouth away. All lovely. All the way through to game week 29 when teams are going to be blanking, Brian and Mbuemo will be playing. 32% ownership. He is a player I'm continuing to take on because of the fact that I am holding Bruno Fernandes and Phil Foden this week in my team. But he is someone that potentially one of them may become post this week. Kirkes, not a good option the next 2 weeks, but again, really good from 25 onwards. He's in my team. He's not going anywhere. I'll be definitely holding him. Rodgers is a good buy this week. If you are chasing those short-term fixtures, there's plenty of upside there. I don't mind that at all. Wissa is the one that I bought into my fold. I actually thought that he would be more heavily bought in this week. If you have a look at the numbers, I know lots of people are buying Cody Gakpo on that, but Wissa is up to 0.62 expected goals per 90, 0.05 expected assists. That's 0.67 combined per 90 for the season. Like, the fixtures get easier here as well. And we've seen what he can do against like teams earlier in the season. He's got 4 scores over 10 this season. There's plenty more where that came from, and he's definitely going to be involved. I expect him to probably get a return against Palace straight away. Then Spurs at home. Spurs can't defend. I expect Wissa to dominate there as well. And then you're into the really nice fixture run. Like, for me, he's definitely the forward to pick this week. I think he's even better than Mateta. Like, I know Mateta's on penalties, but Wissa is just so much involved. He's so central to that Brentford attack. Alisson Becker, love it, and Kanade. Those are the other 2 options defensively that you should be going to if you are going to get in that third play. Now, Anthony Gordon, as I said, I think you should ignore Anthony Gordon if you haven't got him. Like, because you're buying him for the Southampton fixture. Yes, he may get a big haul against Southampton, but if we have a look at his scores this season, he's only got, his highest score this season is 10. I'm happy to take that on. I've been taking on the last couple of weeks, and I don't think he's going to score more than a goal. He might get a goal and assist. It might be like a 12-pointer or a 13-pointer. I just can't see him. He just doesn't get big hauls. So, like, yes, it'll be short-term pain against Southampton, 100%. I can guarantee that. But then Fulham at home, Man City away, Nottingham Forest at home, Liverpool away. The next 4 weeks after that, I just don't think he's going to hurt you. There's better midfield options. And at 7.8, Mbuemo's 0.1 million more, and I think he's a better pick over the next 5 weeks. So that's just my personal opinion. I wouldn't be going near Anthony Gordon if you've already got him. Sells Gay, he's a really good buy. As I said on the differential video this week, there's a reason why. He's been really good the last couple of weeks, and Palace are performing really well to a higher level. Mitoma, surprisingly, I thought he'd be higher bought in. The fact that he's got 10 and 12, and they do have a nice little fixture run here. Everton at home, Forest away, Chelsea at home, Southampton away, Bournemouth at home, Fulham at home, City away. I just think that having owned Mitoma, I can't be bothered going back there. It's not worth it. In terms of Tottenham assets, Kulusevski is the one. If you wanted one, this bloke just plays 90 minutes every week, continues to tick over. 5.9% ownership as well. And they've obviously got Leicester at home this week. Like, if there's a bloke that I think that's going to return this week, it's going to be Kulusevski at 6.4 million. So get on board with that. In terms of the transfers out, Saliba, obviously hamstring injury, likely to miss, which makes Arsenal's defenders in general look a lot weaker. So I don't mind that. Obviously, if you're getting rid of him, he is worth quite a bit of money still. And again, 6.2 million, I just don't think it's worth the money. Nicholas Jackson, 100%. I'm one of the people that's finally jumped off this horrible bandwagon. So I've owned him since game week 12. The first 2 weeks were amazing. And then obviously the Southampton fixture, when he got rested, started the rot. He's only scored once since game week 13. So once in the last 9 weeks. And he's got 1 assist in that same time. Just not good enough. For what he is, 7.9 million, back to the starting price I bought him at. See you later. Like, yes, the fixture run's actually not too bad. West Ham at home, Southampton at home, Leicester at home. He is someone potentially, if he hits some form, I will bring back for 27. But for me, until then, the next 4 weeks is 100% sell. I just can't see him doing very well. Like, Chelsea are in a bit of a rut of form as well. Cole Palmer, this is the one that makes no sense. Why are so many people transferring him out? I'll never know. Yes, so people are getting concerned like with the returns or whatever. So he's got 14, 7, 18, then 3, 3, 10, 2, 10, 10, 2. He scored 34 points in the last 5 weeks. I think it's matches Mo Salah. Like, what are people thinking here? I don't understand it. They're playing a City team that concede goals. They conceded 4 against PSG. If Chelsea score, Cole Palmer, it was very unlucky he didn't get an assist midweek against Wolves. If it wasn't for Madueke stealing the goal on the goal line, he would have got an assist, he would have got a return. I just don't get this move. Then he's got West Ham at home in 24, Brighton and Villa away 25, 26. Not bad fixtures. Then it's Southampton and Leicester at home in 27, 28. Why waste a transfer if you know you're going to have to 100% bring him back in? Makes 0 sense. I don't understand it. I've not even considered it. It makes no sense to me whatsoever. If you want to take him on, by all means, just see your rank go down. That's all I'll say on that. Solanke, 100% sell. He's not expected back till mid-Feb, so that's no good. You need to move him on. Raul Jimenez, I understand. Lots of better options now. Wissa looks a way better option for 0.5 million more. Maybe people are selling him to Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I wouldn't be doing that myself, but again, makes sense. Cunha is going to be an interesting watch between now and the end of the January transfer window. He is a sell still based on the next 3 fixtures, but then in 26, he looks like a really good option. And if he moves to like an Arsenal or a Forest or somewhere else, he could become a really good option. Like a really, really good option. So it is a wait and see on Cunha, but for me, yeah, I don't mind the sell. Savinho, you're paying prep roulette. You never know what you're going to get. He started in the Champions League, probably won't start on the weekend. And that run of fixtures for City doesn't look good for a player that is a minute's risk and a victim of pep roulette. Gabriel, again, 6.4 million. Maybe lots of people are selling him to Van Dijk or Trent Alexander-Arnold. Makes a lot of sense in preparation for that. And obviously, Arsenal without Saliba or Gabriel or one of the two just don't keep anywhere near as many clean sheets. Their win percentage goes down significantly without one of them in the team. Iwobi, 100%. Lots of people probably selling him to Justin Kluivert, whatever his name is. Oh my God, I can't even remember what his name is. That's a really good sell, I think. I just think it's 2 weeks too early. I think this week, Man United at home is actually a pretty good fixture for Iwobi. Enzo, yeah, I'm not surprised that people are jumping off that bandwagon. It's been a roller coaster. He's been poor. And Mbuemo, surprised lots of people are selling him. Don't know why so many people are selling him. I mean, like the last 2 weeks, I never expected him to return, and he didn't return, even though his numbers were actually pretty good the last 2 weeks. But now he's into that run where I can't see him not returning. to be honest with you. Luis Diaz, I mean, we've Jota out. I think he's probably a hold, but he's highly likely to start one of those two in the double game week on the bench, I would think. I think Darwin will definitely start one and Diaz will probably start the other. And there'll be Gakpo and Salah that start them both. That's just my personal opinion. Yes, I'll be 100% selling Gvardiol. Makes no sense to keep him. Man City's fixture run the next 4 weeks. It looks horrible. They're not going to be keeping any clean sheets there. Ditto Pedro Porro. I'm still surprised 22% own Pedro Porro. Makes no sense to me what's going on there. Haaland continues to be sold. Probably dropped to 14.7 soon. I mean, the fixture run for City is just not very good. Raya, ditto. Lots of people probably selling him to Alisson in preparation for the double. And Ahmad, again, one of those cheaper midfielders getting sold for Justin Kluivert. That's what's happening. Ahmad, you can see them all on here. Rodgers, Ahmad, who was the other one? Iwobi. They're all being sold to Justin Kluivert. Yep, makes sense. Some people are selling Gakpo here. It's weird how some people transfer players and that. And then Bruno's on here as well. Bruno's definitely a wait for me. And people are selling Wissa. Like, what is wrong with people? You need to be buying the man, not selling him. All right, that brings us to the end. Thanks for joining me. That has been my transfer tips for game week 23, whatever we're talking about now. And as you can see here, I'm just going to pull out my team. I have actually made the 2 transfers. I've got nothing left in the bank after I've made my 2. It was Julian Timber that left for Trent Alexander-Arnold in my team, and it was Wissa who came in for Jackson that created the money in order to facilitate that move. And I've still got 0.3 left in the bank, which potentially may be an Ahmad to a Justin Kluivert move over the next couple of weeks, just so I can get off the double up of Man United midfield. Or it could be that Bruno Fernandes becomes Mbuemo and I keep Ahmad long term. Or Phil Foden might become Brian Mbuemo. All depends on how this game week goes. I'm happy to rock them this week. And join me tomorrow for my team selection and final plugs ahead of the coming deadline on Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening in Australia. All right, thanks for joining. That's been the D Unit.